Hey, I'm Eric, and I'm animating faces. Got some code that I've written that runs in a web browser, and it loads in some different art assets, and it animates a face. And I'll demo the most recent progress right next. And then after that, after I've demoed what I did yesterday, I'll start work on another thing to add to it today. I found in the past that if I just did a little bit of work every day on a project, just a little bit, even just 1 or 2 hours, that was more important to do a little bit of work as far as getting someplace than having big spurts of time. So you can honestly get a lot done just with a little bit of work each day. So that's what I've come back to as a habit for this particular project. It served me well for my last project, and I'm thinking about even bringing back my progress every day counter, which was like a little number I put on the screen that said how many days in a row that I worked consecutively on the project. I think right now I'm probably up to 10 or something like that. And the last time I did it, I got up to, 500, 600 days. Basically, a year and a half or so of continuous work on a project without any interruption, like no days where I didn't get anything done on it. So anyways, let's demo. All right. So the change that I made yesterday is very much under the hood. I'll just demo for the moment just all the different types of expressions and things that the face can do. There's quite a few capabilities here. So just kind of enumerating all the capabilities. There's a hierarchical rendering system where the rig for this animated face is split into 3 components: the head asset, the eyes, and the mouth. Each individual asset has a sprite sheet behind it. The eyes are the most complex component out of the 3 I just mentioned. The irises will move around inside automatically. And if you specify a target, if I click up here, he looks up there. If I click down here, he looks down. He'll look at the target. Okay. I can change the general resting lid level to one of these 4 things. I can change between 11 different moods, etc. The Visemes support the Preston Blair style of mouth animation to show speaking. This first one is the resting position where no noise is being uttered by the character. And then the other ones correspond to specific Visemes or visual representations of a spoken utterance. Those are all here. So that is ready to animate against speech audio and look like television quality animated speech. There is a skin recoloring algorithm that takes a base color and changes it to a different color. So the original art asset has this character looking very Caucasian, pale skin, and then I ran this skin recoloration against it to generate a dark skin version of the same art assets. Okay, so what I did yesterday was I took all this stuff and that makes these art assets in this rig create an animated face, and I changed it to be data driven. So instead of having the code remember coordinates of things and all the special casing around the particular set of art assets that produce this face, I have some settings files, and they don't assume that you're always going to use the same components together. If there's a split between them, so they all load independently, like the mouth is an independent component. It could be applied to a different head. Okay. I took all that stuff and I got it to the point where there is one URL. I just say load face from URL inside the code, and it gives me this object that can be rendered to a canvas. So this is also in preparation for turning the face generating aspects of this project into a separate library. And this would be the key API, maybe the only API I need to expose from that library. Just load a face from a URL. And inside of this file here, it says the base of this thing will be this component, and then we'll display on top of that component eyes and mouth at certain offsets. Skin color, and this part doesn't work yet, but the idea is we can say the skin color will be light for this face, but we could change it to a different constant and then it would recolor the face. Okay, so that's the face configuration file. Now the parts, those are the reusable things. A face is a combination of parts that makes one character. The parts, they have a different kind of configuration file, and it's specific to the type of part. So eyes, I know, need these particular configuration settings. Okay. And then the head barely needs any configuration at all. All I do is just say the type of part this is, it's a head. And that's enough because there's some code that is bound to this particular part type. And it just assumes everything based upon the part type that is given. Okay, the mouth. Yeah, this is another case of one where we don't need any other configuration values inside of it. But in the future, I might extend these configuration files a little bit. But the nice thing about this separation is, okay, I've got these parts out on a web-hosted URL. Right now, it's just my local web server running on my computer. Later on, it can be out on the public internet. Okay, so if those things are out there, published someplace, available to download, then different tools, games can load those in the same way that other kinds of assets, not assets, but dependencies are available out on the web. Like if you want to have some web fonts, well, there are certain locations on the web where there's a file that you can directly reference via a URL, and it will load in a web font. So I decoupled the hosting of these parts from whatever application is using them. And in the future, what I hope to have is a large collection of parts that can be used to put together a wide variety of faces. So we'll have something like a face maker type of a web app you go into and you say, I want to make a face. I want to make a face with a skinny nose and put some glasses on this character, and I want the eyes to have like giant fluffy eyebrows, and you'll be able to tweak all these things and just kind of Mr. Potato Head style plop on all your components onto your head and create your own character's face. So that work I did yesterday in just a scant 2 hours was enough to set a basic hosting framework of data-driven parts and defined faces or configured faces. So what am I doing today? Today, I want to generalize the skin recoloring. So starting out, I just had one face with the kind of pale pig pink, almost too pink unnaturally pink type of skin. And then I just randomly picked like a very dark skin tone. I have my recoloring algorithm almost as a proof of concept. Just go from that pink source to what you see here on the screen right now. But if I'm going to have this be something that's repeatable and reusable across a large number of assets, I want to be a little more deliberate in what skin tones are available so that they're standardized, and also deliberate about what the default source colors will be for the art assets. So in this case, with the art assets I had, I started out and I said, we're going to begin with this pale pink face, but what I think will work better is to use the source colors be something you normally wouldn't use for skin. And I think light blue is what I want to use. So I started just today kind of changing this existing art asset here so that I would have these blue colors to use as a source. A good thing about choosing something like blue like this, there's two good things. The second one is not very obvious. First one is this color is unlikely to be used in the art assets under normal circumstances. So it's a good source color to use. The second thing, which I say is not so obvious, is that if we get later on into a situation where there's something of an ecosystem of creating assets, there's something kind of gross about saying that the default thing is that when you create a new art asset, it's going to be white or any skin color. If you picked like one skin color as the default and everything else is a remap, then it might not sit so well, because it's kind of like a statement saying this is the main skin color, and we're going to say all the other ones are based off of that one. And if you pick something like white, then there's a connotation to that. Also, someone might think that the recoloring process that's needed to get from one source skin color to another could introduce artifacts, and the original skin color might have the best chance of being the good one. Like it might be artifact free 100% of the time, but the ones that were recolored might have little problems here and there. And if someone has staked out like we're going to have white as the default skin color, then there's misgivings that can go along with that. So I borrowed blue from the Indians, the people of India. Some of their deities have blue skin. And why did they pick blue skin? According to a friend of mine, I didn't look this up, but according to a friend of mine, he said, India was a land, it still is, with lots of provinces and lots of people that have different cultures and look a little bit different from each other. And the people that came up with, the Hindu deities, they did not want to seem like they were favoring one region of the country over another. So they said, our gods are blue-skinned. They just kind of put an end to that sort of hurt feelings that might come up based upon the chosen skin color of their deities. So that seemed like a pretty smart idea to me. So maybe I'll just copy them on this one, and I'll say that our source assets for the faces will be blue-skinned. Okay, so I did some research, and there's a thing when you're dealing with like skin colors and representation, stuff like that. And if you're a white guy in particular, and it's like you don't want to invent the system yourself. You don't want to invent the system yourself. If somebody else has come up with something that addresses this, instead of me having to think really hard about it and ask a lot of people and all that, let's just reuse the system that they already got. So there's this thing called the Fitzpatrick scale. It's not based on race, which is entirely correct for what I'm trying to do. It's based upon the range of skin types that are out there in the world, regardless of nationality, ethnicity, um, geographic location. And it even goes further, and there's like a little survey you can take to figure out like which one of these skin tones is more likely to fit you. And it's used by dermatologists, but it's also pretty elegant as far as if we have these 6 types, we have a pretty good representation of the different skin tones that can come up in the world. Now, arguably, there's more than just, this coloration from lightest to darkest. Like some people in Asia have a more of a yellowish tint to the skin, things like that. But I think this is pretty good as a starting point. And I did leave a facility for additional skin colors to be defined if they were needed. So today what I'm going to do is work on just getting a base palette, not a base palette, a standard palette. Maybe if I get far enough along, I will write some of the code that does the recoloration from blue to one of the target skin colors. Okay. So there may be a lot of Photoshop in this rather than coding. Because what I've been doing is come over here to Photoshop and grab a value here and then come over and see how it looks and then paste a number into a source file. So let's see how that goes. Okay, so here's Billy face. I think I want to start by taking the existing assets and making them all blue. So we've got Billy eyes. Let's do that same adjustment I just did. And I said the hue will go to -130. That didn't work at all. Is it because I didn't have the selection? Is that what it was? Yeah, that was it. Okay. Okay, now let's take a quick look at this. Okay, that's good. That's good. All right, and let's save that. Oh, well, let's save it where it expects to find it. Save as. Barnes. Weird. Huh. I'm kind of not getting how. Oh, you. God. Of all the things Finder does, the file system inside of Macs, the one thing you really count on it to do is just show you an up-to-date description of what files are inside of a directory. And it failed to do that just now. I had to leave the directory and come back to it. And then it goes, oh, okay, you want to see what's really here. Here you go. All right. So then let's go over here. Let's make sure this is saved. Save as. Okay, we'll go, this is Billy head. Place. Okay. Get the mouths. Now this one's a little bit harder because I've got some other colors besides skin in here. So come in here. Now this is one advantage I was talking about. The first advantage of going blue is that blue is not a color that's going to come up in these assets very often. Whereas the pink to red to brown, yeah, that will come up. That will come up all the time. So, yeah, a nice benefit of having blue here is that when I do the recoloring, I won't have to fidget so much to protect and preserve the red of the tongue and the red of the back of the mouth. Okay, but I will have to mask. I will have to mask out this part before I perform the transformation on the skin to make it blue. And when there's pixels that don't have any saturation to them, like these black pixels here, that hue change that I'm going to do in a moment will not affect them. Same for white. It's really this red of the gums, which is a saturated color. Any browns that I need to mask out. Oh. Yeah, sometimes it just loses a whole masking operation. Thanks. Okay. Alright, so this stuff, I'm really probably spending too much time getting it perfect because like I said, I really just need to capture in my mask the red of the gum. Everything else doesn't have any saturation to it, so the change in hue will not affect. So I'll remember that in the next. Oh. Oh. Okay, I'm adding to the mask, not subtracting from it. Okay. All right, so let's do this the faster way. Just the saturated colors that need protection. Okay. Keep going. That one is fine. I look forward to getting to a point where I can have enough assets defined that I can turn over the creation of the rest to a different person. But for the moment, it's helpful that I can work on some of my own art to get this stuff done, to make sure the code's working right, and to solidify the requirements of the assets so that once I've proven it for myself, I can just take those same requirements to someone like Bettina Throckmorton or just an artist, and just say, well, here's what the art assets need to do. And if you've ever worked with artists on a project like a game or a multimedia thing, actually particularly a game, you'll find that it's not just talent that makes a good artist to work with. It's definitely important. Like, you can look at somebody's portfolio and you can see everything that they've done in the past, and it can be an honest reflection of their capabilities, and still not have the full picture in terms of what they can do for you, because other things are, will they get confused by requirements? Will they be able to work within requirements? Requirements are things like, I need this art asset for the neck to never have anything on it which would obstruct a chin under this set of circumstances. And then somebody that doesn't understand that, they'll make a neck with a bow tie on it, and it doesn't work with like some other art asset that I was expecting for there not to be any extra thing added onto the neck, So some of these requirements that come up are fairly difficult to convey. For animation rigs, the connection points between different art assets in the rig is a typical point where the requirements get tough to understand. And so there's two ways to make it so that you're in a better position with the work that comes from the artist to meet all your requirements. One is you just have a very good person to work with in terms of communication and understanding. You rely on a lot of extra communication with that person, and for their ability to process and understand it and incorporate it in their work. And then other things are like, if you just have a really clear starting example of working art assets, those art assets tend to become their own form of documentation of the requirements, because you can say something like, well, here's an example of the art assets done right for one face. Let's make another one and another set of assets, and you can use this original set as like a reference point or starting point for creating your own. Another thing that helps is verification tools. Like if there's a game engine or maybe a subset of the game engine's functionality where the artist can plug in the art assets and see how they will perform inside of the code without having to have you make a build that includes those art assets and send it to them, or without having you check it, then that's better, right? Because then you can close that iteration loop and have them working with the end results and seeing the end results of what they create. And if they've got that, then you don't need as much communication with them. So all three of those things are on my mind as far as when I begin working with an artist to create a large amount of assets for these faces. Alright, so I don't think I've got too much more masking work here. It's going pretty fast now. I got into a flow. This is all in the quest to make a standard set of art assets in a weird blue skin color that will be used as the basis for recoloring to 6 other standard skin types according to the Fitzpatrick scale. And this, what's this one? This is the WQ Viseme? Or is this, oh, I'm in the motions. I haven't gotten to the Visemes yet. Or maybe I have. I don't know. I can see the little vertical scroll bar on the right, and I can see I'm pretty close to the bottom, so not too many more. Most things Bettina does I like better than mine. The one thing that like I might have to work with her further to see, like, can she hit this style which is funny ugly. There's something extra silly when the art looks kind of bad. And like her artwork is much nicer than mine, but if I wanted to go for comedy, like just stupid, ridiculous comedy, then something more like the South Park style, or God, there's a really good animation that is like the best of the stupid, ugly, funny style. Mr. Pickles and Mama Named Me Sheriff, which are part of the same story universe. Those are just ridiculous. I like things where you show a lot of ugly teeth. Showing individual teeth, I think, is just inherently funny. I don't know why. Okay, -130. Let's see how I do. Okay, interesting. I did the exact opposite. Let's invert the mask. There we go. And then edit image adjustments. Hue saturation. -130. Come on. Okay. Those are looking pretty good. Let's see how I did up at the top. Yeah. Okay. Save that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Did I save this to the right location? Okay. So we've got the eyes, got the head. So I come back to the web app, it's gonna look fucked up. Oh, not bad. I see what happened. So my recoloration, which was going from kind of pale pink to a dark skin, it didn't find the same source colors that were there prior to those blue tinting I just did. So it is giving me the original. It looks like the original. I'll go through and I'll see how the others do. Okay. That's pretty good. That's what I wanted. Okay, so what next? I think it's time to start writing the code that does the plumbing for all this. Okay, so the face for Billy says skin color light, but I think I decided I would use a different naming convention. So also I need like a little array that maps between these names in text and the enumeration. So let's see. Export function. Skin tone. Skin tone name. Skin tone to name. Okay, I like that. Let me say skin tone. Okay, so it'll be pale white. White. Actually, I like original being 0, so let me put that at the top. Dare I do this? Dare I do this? Okay, hold on. It's like, okay, let me just see. Is anybody mad about the Fitzpatrick scale? I'm not like looking for arguments. I just want to know, is anyone mad about it? Is anyone saying this is bullshit? I guess I am looking for arguments, but just to kind of get an idea of what might be out there and if it's easy to avoid some kind of common criticism. No, it seems pretty friggin' uncontroversial. Yeah. What is golden skin tone? All right. Now, I'm cool. Okay, light brown, moderate brown, dark brown, black, and then I've got original at the top. So original. Okay. If skin tone greater than equal, let's add one more. Count. Greater than equal. Let's see. Less than 0 or greater than equal. Skin tone. Count. Throw. Jeez. Okay. Otherwise, just return skin tone to name. Skin tone. Okay. I'm also gonna need the reciprocal one. Const name skin tone. This one will be an associative array. I kind of want to generate this instead of writing it out as a literal, so let's do that. Create name to skin tone map. Skin tone to name. Okay. Function. Okay, so here we say map. Then I want to use whatever was in the array, source array, skin tone equals skin tone. Okay. What? Oh, no. Okay, I just have to define this better. AJ, sorry. Oh, hey. I think I remember you from a long time earlier. It's been a while. Yeah, how's it going? Yeah, it was something like that. Things are good for me. Yeah, let's see. You were from, I want to say Turkey, if I remember right. Yeah. But maybe I'm wrong. I could misremember. But things are going good, pretty good for me. I released that game I was working on, and I don't know, for some reason I'm pretty good at remembering where people that came on the stream are from, but bad at most everything else as far as remembering. Yeah, so now I'm working on some face animation stuff. So this, and it's a totally different tech stack too. Before I was doing Unity and C#, and this is web coding in React, JavaScript, TypeScript. Yeah. Okay, so I always forget how to declare these associative arrays or maps, but I did it recently. Just got to figure out where I put it. Yeah, I just got... There were two things that bugged me about making games with Unity. at least two things, maybe a whole bunch more, but at least two that I can think of. One was the black box aspect of it, where there'd be something that doesn't work, and I can't figure out why it doesn't work in a straightforward way by looking at the code, because it's inside of a proprietary product. Another thing that was bugging me about it was just how my software would rot. Like it would fall apart whenever I updated Unity. And I'd have to do bug fixes. And, if I needed to make a new build of the game I spent 4 years on, I would probably now have to spend about a week fixing various problems, upgrading it to the most recent version of Unity. And that's after making a build at the beginning of the year, a few builds at the beginning of the year. So I just thought, like, all right, I'll just do web. I'll just try web. I like web. Yeah. And I'll be very honest with you. Okay, 4 years of work on that game. I released it on Steam. I put a marketing campaign behind it. Barely any attention. Barely any. I got, a few press reviews. I got a few people to stream it, influencers and stuff. But yeah, I didn't get much of anything as far as sales or attention or anything. So it's making me think all that work I did to get something on the Steam, it wasn't really worth it. I might as well just have web-based games and then they're immediately playable. Nobody has to install anything. And I wasn't really worried about the money part of it anyways. I'd rather just see if I could grow out like a user base. Let's see. All right, so what was this? Part type. Is this it? Hey, this is it. Yeah, okay. That's the format. You say what the... okay. Say type skin tone map equals, and it's going to be name, and it will return as a result skin tone. This is really name to skin tone map. Okay. Map name to skin tone map. This is also name to skin tone map. And down here we're going to return the map. That'll be it. Okay, down here we create this, and that allows me create this other exported function, which is name to skin tone, name string. And okay, so then I just want to check that they actually passed in a good name. Match equals name to skin tone name. If not match, throw an error. Invalid name. Skin tone name. Bam. All right, AJ. Get some good sleep. Sleep's important. I'll catch you later. Got all that. And this, let's see, this, we'll call this original to start. Okay, that's a pretty good start. Now let's go. Let me think. What's the way to do this? The part loader is going to want to know. Part loader is going to want to know skin color. I should say skin tone. I can have it default to original. Yeah, let's change this to be skin tone, not color. Be consistent. Okay, how do I pass this along? Do I put this in the init data? I think what I want to pass is something different. I think I want to pass the recoloring profile that was based on the skin tone. And that would have to go in here. Okay, so I need something like okay, hold on. Maybe it's not that I want skin tone to get passed here. Maybe it's that I want the recolor profile to get passed. Because that would allow me later on to apply color transformations besides skin color. Okay, so then we'll say init data recolor profile equals recolor profile. And honestly, maybe it's just better to just make this an optional. Yeah. Okay, I think that'll probably do it there. And this also allows me to separate out of this code anything related to skin, because I'm just passing the recolor profile. That'll get passed on to other stuff. And the other stuff can be agnostic about the recoloring. Or not agnostic, but it can be, what's the word I want? Encapsulated? Oh wait, no, the encapsulation is happening elsewhere, but it doesn't need to know about skin. It just needs to know any kind of recoloring that it needs, that will be done. And there's probably even ways to have the recolor profile combine multiple things in it, and there can be all kinds of cleverness leading up to this call. A single recoloring profile is passed, and that gets applied. Okay, so then if I go back to the face loader util, the face definition can have, all right, I gotta use the restroom. I'll be right back. Womp womp dom.
She pushed someone. She's one of those. But do we understand?
Hey, just look away.
What a brute.
Pushing on its own doesn't matter.
Violet, I've pushed people by accident.
Rather we not focus on the action.
He's upset, but he's always upset.
She's probably fine, but don't draw attention to
I
herself.
don't care if she's a pusher.
Right.
We'll go back to normal. Just wait a
They
bit.
want to ruin it for everyone else.
Send the other one and see what they say.
Okay, you're saying
Hey,
she's too
nobody
pushy.
died.
You should be more
Can we
afraid.
get a beard in here? Why is it that hard? She just wanted people to clear a path.
She pushed someone.
She's one of those.
At first glance. But do we understand?
Hey, just look away.
What a brute.
Pushing on its own doesn't matter.
Violet, I've pushed people by accident.
Rather we not focus on the action.
He's upset, but he's always upset.
She's probably fine, but don't draw attention to
I
herself.
don't care if she's a pusher.
Right.
We'll go back to normal. Just wait a
They
bit.
want to ruin it for everyone else.
Send the other one and see what they say.
Okay, you're saying
Hey,
she's too
nobody
pushy.
died.
You should be more
Can we
afraid.
get a beard in here? Why is it that hard? She just wanted people to clear a path.
Okay. Okay, so it's my beautiful top level method for loading a face. I read in the face definition. From the face definition, I want to receive a recoloring profile. I find that I really like this form of function naming. Like there's so many functions where it just takes one value and it returns another value. It's just really useful to keep using that wherever it pops up. I used to be big on having a verb noun thing in every single function name, but that's just a much nicer way to cover this type of functionality quickly. Okay, so face definition. Okay, and is face definition just an any? Let's see, what are you returning? Okay. I'll just say any for now. I think that is it though. Okay. Okay, we say if not, here, let's do, or, that's the thing. Because I said, because I was accepting undefined in that other function instead of null. When I return a null value from here, it won't be passable, I don't think. Okay, if not, face definition, skin tone. Return null. Let's also say that if it's original, well, yeah. Import. Go ahead, import it. Just import it. Just, yeah, do it. Okay. Then we say, what do we do? We say, ooh. I'm having doubts now. So the component might have overrides. So here's the thing. Suppose I work really hard on an asset like this. And the standard recoloring profile doesn't work on it, and there needs to be some tweaks that are very specific to the bitmaps in this asset. An example was this right here, actually. The highlight is a little bit close to the color of white in the hair. Since the highlight looks a lot like the hair, when I did the recoloring, I had to make some colors that were excluded from any kind of recolorization. And they matched against this hair and this mid-tone hair and this slightly darker in the back hair. And they said, okay, you're not going to recolor those. But that was specific to this particular material. Not the material, the component. And the art assets that are coupled to that component. So if that's the case, then what I was just saying before about insulating the component from skin considerations, it's not actually a good approach. So let me think of the ways I can resolve this. One is I can just try to fix the art assets by hook or by crook so that they work with the standard with the standard recoloring profiles. I feel that'll be awkward. It would make me do things like move the hair to a different component so it's not recolored, which I might end up doing anyways, because I might want like mix and match hairstyles and stuff. Another would be to go ahead and pass the skin tone to the component and let it look up the recoloring profile, including any overrides it might have in its own configuration settings. With what I just said, the second of those two options is better until you start thinking of maybe there could be recoloring that's not skin based. So a way to handle that could be to just pass, let's see. Pass the skin tone down as a string, but allow it to contain other names that are not in that list of skins. The component could then say, okay, if anything matches this name, this recoloring name, I'll use it. If nothing does, I'll leave it as original. That sounds better to me. That means I'll end up deleting this. That means I'll end up deleting this. And it probably means I need a name other than skin tone. I could do my wife's asking me if I need anything for a grocery order. Thinking. Canadian bacon, milk. Okay, so I could call this coloration. I kind of like that. I could call it tone. original. Color tone. Color tone. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it. Call it color tone. And then color tone could also be color tone pale white. And then that kind of implies skin already. What were the other ones? It's like medium, let's see, white. What was it? Medium brown, brown, dark brown, black. And then color tone can also be used for non-skin colors, but those would like be custom. They'll be specific to each component. Okay, so let's go with color tone. Okay, I got it now. Now I'm understanding what I want to do. So we're gonna pass color. Here, let's. Ah! Oh yeah. I hate it when I'm thinking really hard and then I get texted. But it's just my wife trying to move Thanksgiving stuff along. And she's helping me out by dealing with that. Okay, and this can just be simplified a bit. Okay, this also needs to load the same color tone. Okay, I thought of another use case that this would not support. If there was a color tone. Okay, I got it. So this could be the skin tone, but an individual component could have a separate color tone applied to it. I think so. Like if I had like a hat, say cowboy hat. Right, and then I could add a tone here. I don't know, man. This is starting to get kind of like I'm over designing. Do I really want to preserve my ability to recolor every asset? If I did, do I need to design that right now? Because if I did, then I'd have to figure out something like color tone red. Like we have a red cowboy hat, And that's not one of the skin tones. Yeah, let's just save that. And let's make this, I'm going back to kind of what I was thinking in the first place. This can be skin tone. Okay. Yeah. That's kind of silly. This will be skin tone. And honestly, if I'm doing that, then I can go back to just passing the recolored profile. But this is maybe a little bit better. All things considered, I know I've gone back and forth on this a whole bunch, but pass the skin tone down, let the component decide what it needs to do with that skin tone. But more than that, I can do let's do skin tone as skin tone name const skin tone equals name to skin tone, and then we say skin tone name. Okay, and then yeah, we just pass that. Okay. And then let's see if skin tone name is defined, then do that. Otherwise, we will. Oh God, I cannot destructure if it may not be there. So let's pull this out. Okay. Skin tone equals face definition skin tone face definition skin tone or skin tone original. If it's not specified, we just say original. Okay. Now, you are saying there's an error because you're expecting a recolor profile, but I'm going to let each component get the recolor profile. So for that, go to part loader, change this to skin tone. Okay. And let's see. Data recolor profile equals create recolor profile for skin tone. Okay, and we'll pass it the skin tone. We'll also pass it skin tone overrides, which will be undefined if the component did not add that in their configuration file. Okay, create recolor profile for skin tone. So I can go to, where's my recolor profile? It's right here. Export function. Create. Let's see. Paste it. Paste that. Paste that. Okay. Skin tone. I guess any. Return recolor profile. Okay. So for this one, do I have where's my black skin one? Is it in here? Yeah, there it is. Okay. Well, one thing I know is I just do not want to today do any I don't want to do the overrides in this session. I can save those till tomorrow. Okay. So for that, for what's remaining, I need to have some profiles that are used as a default and then just return them. So if I go to recolor profile, okay, just make these consts. I'll just maybe I'll put these in a separate file. So let's see, we'll say default skin tone recolor or default recolor profiles. Okay, I take this. Okay, so we got bam, that const there. Okay, got let's see, export function. Skin tone to recolor profile. Skin tone. Okay, and then we'll just have a little array lookup thing. So const skin to recolor. Original is I guess I'll cheat that original since it's not something that should be returned as recolor profile. Okay, then we do here, return skin tone. Let's see. If skin tone less than equal skin tone original, or skin tone greater than equal skin tone count, throw error without skin tone. Okay. Otherwise, just return skin tone to recolor skin tone. Then I will just kind of copy and paste to make the rest of these. But the things I need are like this. Original, pale white, boom. Okay. Let's see. Just have them be empty to start. Okay, so it's going to be white, pale white, light brown, moderate brown, dark brown, and black. And not to get ahead of myself, but I'm also thinking like that special case coloring around like hats and stuff that doesn't have to do with skin. That could be a tint, or it could be like it could be much simplified to this whole color profile thing. But yeah, it might just be like a general tint that gets passed in. Okay. else is broken or needs to be plumbed. I see my red squigglies. Recolor util. Okay, so here we say const recolor profile. You know, I don't have to error on the original. I can actually just use this because this is like a no-op. And that will make it so I don't have to special case check all over the place. Original profile. That's a no-op. There we go. Now allow me to do overrides on top of the original too. Okay. So skin tone to recolor profile, skin tone. Okay. Then, you know what? This thing here might not be too hard to figure out. Skin tone overrides. And then I can say, is there anything for the particular skin that I'm trying to override? For that to work, these names need to be camel case, because I'd be looking for something like let's say skin tone overrides, bam, and then we do not pale white, but pale white, and then there'll be like a bunch of instructions inside of that. So fix that pretty easy. Okay. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Okay, so recolor util, recolor profile. Okay, then look for the overrides that match the name. So const skin tone name equals skin tone to name, skin tone, and then const override equals skin tone overrides. I'm going to do it this way. If skin tone overrides. Okay, if override, then recolor profile equals recolor profile and then override. This has to be a let. Or do const. We do here return. Okay. Otherwise, we do recolor profile. Bam, like that. Okay. So the recolor profile. Who calls you? Part loader calls you, right? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, okay. And then I've got recolor profile being passed in with the init data. And then I have to go to each component and add in that bit of recoloration. There's already something like that. So if I look at onload, I can get recolor profile from there. There would be some value to being able to just pass a null to it so I can avoid all the extra work of recoloring. So there would be some value to that. This I can delete. Okay, so if recolor profile oh. What? Why would you? What's the issue? Oh, that await stuff. I don't know. It feels like the compiler is getting confused. Like at least the pre-compiler or linter seems to be getting confused. It's okay. I can do this. Or I can put it back how it was. Okay. just return that, or I can do if not recolor profile, return the original. Otherwise, we'll do this stuff, and we can just return. Yeah, that's clean. I like that better. Okay, now before I forget, I need to handle the case where recolor profile will get passed as nothing. So if I go back up to the part loader, where is this defined? You can have this return null. So I'll say if skin tone equals original. Mateo, what's going on, buddy? Okay. And not override. Hey, JV. Thank you. Mateo, how's that? How's your job going with the game development? Okay, just return null in that case. So I say that if the skin tone is original and if the component doesn't have any overrides, then I'm just going to return null. No way, man. It must be like in Argentina that game development jobs are easier or something. For me, they've always been terrible. Maybe you're just better at getting a good game dev job than I was. Sad for Argentina in the Mundial. Not sure about the Mundial. Oh, okay. FIFA. Yeah, I don't. You know what a weird thing is? I never watch soccer or football, but I play football. I play it all the time. I go down my park and I kick a soccer ball around. But I never ever watch FIFA or any games. It's just fun to kick a ball around on a field. So I bought a football. So I could go to the park and play with it. And first I got one that was this size 3. And I brought it there, and then people made fun of me a little bit. They said I had a very little ball here for children. And I bought this bigger one, and now I have the respect of people at the park because I have a regular ball, not a little one like this. All right, back to coding. Okay, so that should handle that. Writing a lot of code here and not really testing it, which isn't the best thing to do, but I should be getting to a point where I can test it out pretty soon. Okay. So let's go to the load again. Onload. And then from the init data, we'll get recolor profile. And I have to put this here. Recolor profile. Okay, there's that. It should be possible for it to be null. Okay. So then, where's my recoloring? It's in onload. Okay. So that means I need to pass this along recolor profile. Okay. We'll divide zoom in the bitmaps. Those get passed. Image devising back. Okay. Recolor profile. Yeah. Recolor profile. Okay, cool. So then go do these ones. Oh, yeah, right here. Okay, recolor profile. Okay, so then I say if recolor profile we'll use this to recolor. Okay, that's not bad. And up here, same deal. If recolor profile okay, no longer grab that directly because it all gets passed in. Okay, what are the complaints? Okay, that's just an import. Import. Okay. What other complaints? What's this guy? What? What's wrong with it? I don't think anything. Okay. So that's mouth, that's head, eyes. Eyes, do eyes next. Okay. Yoink. let's go to load. Onload. Here you are. Okay, so here from init data we get the recolor profile. Okay, and in the init data we need that to be present. Import that. The IDE is really helping me out, to be honest. I'm like Writer, it's quite good at calling out what I need to do. Combined with TypeScript, it's just a really great combination. This stuff I do in here, where I just change one thing and it lights up all the things I need to change because there are syntax errors, that's a great strength of using a typed language. Okay, there's the recolor profile. Need to pass that on to here. Okay, then go backwards. Okay, load bitmaps. Where are you at? And let's see, the emotionals will also need that. Okay, so recolor profile to there. Generate emotional data. This is really just a lot of plumbing work. Okay. If recolor profile. Okay, I gotta finish up fairly soon here, as I have a guest coming over to my house and it's getting around dinner time. Okay, let's see what does not compile. There's got to be something. No, but there's warnings, and I don't mind fixing those, so let's do that. Skin tone, okay, a whole bunch of stuff up top, I see. Well, that's cool. I can take that out. I actually don't need that. That's true. What was I gonna do with this? I mean, it is used. It's just. mean, if I want to be explicit, this isn't a bad way to do it actually. Let's just do it this way. We'll say skin tone palettes, skin tone original equals, and yeah, what? Oh, okay, no problem. Okay, let me say. Okay, so that one was pale white. This one will be white. Light brown. Moderate brown, is that what I called it instead of medium brown? Dark brown. Black. Okay, damn, like that. Good. Okay. Okay, it's moderate brown. Huh? Okay, I'll stick with that. That seems fine. So then let's go back, look at the warnings again. It's defined but never used. That's in part loader util. Cool. Original profile assigned value but never used. Default recolor profiles. Yeah. Okay, that's a clean build. I'm sure there's bugs in it, but at least it runs clean. Let's go see what result it produces. Okay, we've got a bug. At least one. Okay, let's see. What's the name? Original. Create name to skin tone map. Got original there. Okay, what's the map look like? Okay. Name skin tone. Name. Oh yeah. That's okay. It's just that it's returning 0 in the, instead of undefined. Okay, got it. Got it. So I can fix that real easy. What was that? Skin tone? Yeah. equals undefined. There we go. Okay, something else. Okay, so the load of something failed, but not in a nice way that shows me exactly the problem. So I'm going to have to step through and see what's getting fucked up. Let's do this thing here. Okay, I'll just step in. Okay, my face definition. Let's take a look. Yeah. Oh, that's kind of weird. Skin tone, original. Where's the skin color coming from? Where is the skin color coming from? Right here. That's where. That's where. Okay, so I just get rid of this line. That'll fix that little thing there, but not necessarily the overall bug. What is it? Face loader util. Okay. Where was that at? Skin color. Okay. Don't need that. Delete that. Or just have it be original. Skin tone equals skin tone original. There we go, like that. There, that's better. Okay, probably still doesn't work. Probably still doesn't work. Okay. Yeah, it still doesn't work. That's fine. Let's load the face again. Where's it at? Okay. Got our face definition. There, that's looking more healthy. This can be much less complicated, but that's not going to be the source of my bug. Okay, what does skin tone look like? Zero for original. Cool. Okay. Load component and data from. Okay, cool. Recolor profile should come in here. Okay, so skin tone overrides will be undefined. Skin tone will be 0. Okay, I expect the recolor profile to be populated. Okay, recolor profile. Yeah, just kind of an empty, no op profile. Cool. There are no overrides. So just return the recolor profile. Oh, the logic here should be this returns null. Null on this. Okay. There, I'm gonna set a breakpoint here, but let me fix the two problems I saw, which I don't think are the root cause of this bug yet. Recolor util. So return skin tone. Equals skin tone original null, other words, recolor profile. Okay, then going up to, was it part loader? No, it's face loader. Maybe it was part loader. Where is this at? Recolor util. Yeah, okay. So here, getting lost a little bit. I was just in some code that was not quite correct. Whew. Okay, face. Start at face. Was it this? Yeah, okay, so this is going to return a skin tone if one's missing. And that means that this logic is overly complicated. Because we know that the skin tone will be there. All right. So I don't think I changed any behavior there. I just kind of cleaned up some code, made it simpler. So the bug should probably still be present. Okay, no problem. I just want to refresh. Okay, so there's the head. And then let's go. Yeah, okay. So here, skin tone is original. Skin tone is 0, right? So you should be returning null. Okay. Okay, so I expect init data recolor profile. Yep, to have recolor profile of null. Cool. Okay. Okay, recolor profile should be null here. Yep, it's null. Okay. So here. I'm going to load the head bitmap. If okay, so just return it as is, right? So that should be fine. But let's look at original head bitmap. It's all loaded in with, yeah, that's real. Nothing has changed on it, okay? Okay, we're loaded. So that should be a healthy load of the head bitmap. I'm guessing either the eyes or mouth has got some problems. And what I may do is just load the rest of the components. And just instead of stepping through them all, let's just see if they look healthy. So there's another child component. Okay. And skin tone is going to be 0 again. Okay. Child component. Okay. Component state. Back bitmap looks healthy. All these things look healthy. I do wonder, did I skip setting the pre-render context? I don't think I did. No, it's set. It's set. All these guys, they're looking good. So I hate to do this, but I'm gonna have to end the session pretty quick here. I hate to do it because I don't like it when there is a bug remaining to fix before I've ended the session. I suspect I'm not going to be able to fix it in the next few minutes. I gotta go down and do some stuff with Thanksgiving and the meal and all that. Okay, so just for now, let's just check the health on this other component. Okay, so this is the eyes. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm honestly not like making that noise loud. It's just I legit get really surprised when I get a text while I'm thinking really hard and it makes that noise and I just go ah. I'm not like doing that to be silly. It's just how my brain works. Okay, child component. Motion bitmaps. They look healthy to me. They all look healthy. I know something's fucked, but I'm not sure what it is yet. And it's doing it on the render. Canvas, on draw canvas, render with children. And one of these is failing. Oh, the head is failing. The head is failing. Okay. I hate this. I feel like I'm so close to being able to fix this bug. And I just don't have enough time. So head bitmap is undefined. Let's look at the call stack, because I definitely see that that's not correct. I'm out of time. I gotta sneak back here later tonight and fix this. In order for me to sleep reasonably well, I have to do that. But for now, I better go attend to my things. And then later on, I'll sneak back here. I'll just sneak back in the middle of the night before I go to sleep and fix this goddamn bug. All right. Stupid Thanksgiving. I'm unthankful about Thanksgiving. Stopping the stream. Hey, anybody that's on working, thanks for hanging out. Catch you later. Stopping the stream. Good night, good morning, good afternoon.